actually a really great coincidence for me. Interestingly, I discovered a data problem while I was working here about 2 decades ago when I was an intern. And so coming back again to this center to be a keynote speaker at an event as this is very exciting for me. Whilst I was doing my internship here, we had a funded research, which was to check the ICT penetration in the country back then. This was a very long time ago, before this advancement in technology. And we were to look at the sale of devices, that's businesses selling devices, and also to look at those providing technology-related services. Back then, it wasn't as easy to get information as it is today. Now you can actually sit in your room and conduct a whole research. We had to actually walk the streets of Accra or rely on our networks for someone to point you in the right direction if they had seen a business offering ICT service or selling devices. And then also we had to live through the Yellow Pages book. I'm sure those of you who have been around for a while know these yellow books which were circulated by Ghana Telecom. At that time, all addresses and then phone numbers were owned, let me put it that way, by 2 institutions, Ghana Telecom and Ghana Post. And that data was not integrated or unified in any way, but the address book would give you access to finding information. But we all know it was a very voluminous book, so to be able to search for anything meaningful, meaning you have to live through that book severally to find your information. That was very, very difficult. At the end of the day, we did not have so much success because the time frame was short, and then I think it was for 2 months I left and went back to school. Next slide, please. So 2 years down the line after that experience, I solved that problem by creating a database management system with search algorithms and user-friendly interfaces, which would make it very easy for anyone looking to find a place or a person to be able to live through all that, collating all the data from Ghana Telecom and then Ghana Post. Interestingly, you may think that is simple, but I like to tell you it's no simple mission. We all know the great company Alphabet Incorporated. That was the use case they started solving. And today they've moved on to become a powerhouse, raking in huge revenues globally and transforming lives. And like Delali mentioned, we are even honored to have the AI director in Ghana speak to us at this conference. Okay. The promise of data science for economic transformation. That is also very much related to what I did. Without having access to information, there is not going to be any much work done or progress made in the field of economic transformation. So access is very, very key. And transferring that access or that data, that knowledge to meaningful impact, that's what we are here to discuss. That's why we are doing this in the aim of growing the data science community, creating awareness, allowing people to think about using data-driven approaches to solve problems, and creating employment and other things we need for growth in our economy. Okay, so let's jump straight to where we are today. Fast track. I am a director at Superfluid Labs, and what we do is we harness untapped potential by looking at alternative data, traditional data, to help unlock opportunities for people, for businesses, for enterprises, and to make global impacts. We've harnessed our capacity and capabilities to build a super enterprise platform where we do enterprise business intelligence, customer insights, credit scoring, and we also have a data science automation tool. And that's really, really great because it helps you reduce all the workload involved in typical data science work. When we talk about data science for economic transformation, where do we start from? The IMF said that per their growth projections, Ghana would be doing 8.8% growth in 2019. And that's really exciting. We are all very happy about that. But where is the key growth contributions coming from? Is the regular oil, agriculture, manufacturing, mining, and services. We are looking at how do we use data analytics to transform all aspects of human lives globally, and then how do we use that to ensure that we are growing economically as a people. Data analytics is making great impacts all over the world. How do we harness that, make our economy be driven by data science and data analytics? Next slide. Let's look at the data opportunity. To begin with, to do anything meaningful, I'm sure as we all know, it's about the data sets. What's the data set we are looking at? According to research, there are over 204 million emails sent in a minute, 50,000 apps downloaded on Apple iTunes, 4.4 million messages are delivered via WhatsApp every minute. Driven by the desire to stay connected at all times and the need to efficiently multitask through a busy day, many of us have become digital omnivores, consuming and generating unprecedented amounts of data. Recently, in our own country, the government has aggressively started a digital agenda. And what it means is that we are going to have staggering growth in our domestic data. The question is, how do we leverage our data to unleash economic growth in Ghana? In addition to all the existing global data and the historical records we already have in this country, some of which are still paper-based anyway. Where can we tap data to create an impact and to grow the economy? There are 4 areas we can start with, which I have identified. One is in the area of job creation, one in terms of economic productivity, financial inclusion, sustainable and equitable development for all people in Ghana. Let's go to job creation. The growing realization of the power of data has led to the creation of new skills and competencies needed to deliver value from data. We can benefit from these new skills when we become a data-driven economy, both in the private and public sector. Solving problems with data-driven approaches will also create new jobs for individuals who venture into entrepreneurship, and also for existing institutions who decide to solve problems with data, meaning that they will need to hire data scientists to be able to accomplish that, and that will create additional jobs to the growing number of unemployed people we have in Ghana. Okay. So when we talk about the envisaged skills which would be created, we are looking at predictive analytics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, customer insights, precision marketing, descriptive and prescriptive analytics, business intelligence, amongst many others. You know, interestingly, I'm sure we would learn as we go along during the summit, is that when you talk about data science, it is really difficult to pinpoint exactly one skill set which would make you a full data scientist. You need specific skills from different areas. And a lot of us already have those backgrounds in statistics, in mathematics, in computer science. We can easily harness our foundations to grow into becoming full-fledged data scientists, to be able to make the impacts we are looking at. So I'm happy to be here, and I know the audience is from multiple backgrounds, but just to say that we all have a very major role to contribute and play in this drive. And another thing I forgot to mention is the business knowledge. Without having the business acumen or knowing implication of our work on business, we will really not be able to do much. So in all our getting, let's remember to understand business problems, because at the end of the day, that is what we are solving, the problems with data science. So to help us understand how data science is creating jobs, let's look at these few examples. Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. These are really great examples. About 30 years back, these companies did not exist. They only became existence or grew because of solving problems which were data-driven problems and solving problems with data-driven technologies. And currently, these companies together employ over 1 million people globally, and they are bringing in a lot of huge revenues to their countries. If you want to look at how Amazon, how Google, how Facebook is contributing to the economic growth in America, we would be very, very surprised. And that can be us too, because I believe in Ghana we have the brains, we have the expertise, we have the fortitude to be able to do this as well. The next area I would want to look at is in the area of the existing sectors contributing greatly to the economy. So like I mentioned, we have mining, agriculture, oil and gas, and services, and a lot of other smaller contributors. How can we use data to enhance the outputs they are already giving? If we employ predictive analysis, robotics and Internet of Things, business intelligence, customer insights, and other data-driven initiatives, we can transform these economies, these economically impacting sectors, to be able to do far more, quadruple their growth rate, quadruple their output, and at the end of the day, contribute more to our GDP growth as a nation. Let's take a look at a use case for data science in manufacturing.
Digitalization opens up fascinating new possibilities for the BMW production system. Large quantities of data are generated at many stages in car production. Today, we are already drawing major benefits from intelligent analysis of production data. Our customers benefit from even higher quality. Production uses resources more efficiently, and we are able to manage system maintenance more precisely. Let's take a closer look at the innovative solutions that emerge when our specialists immerse themselves in the virtual world of data. Starting with our new BMW X1, several kilometers worth of steel are used to form parts for the body. But on a 3-kilometer roll of steel, there are bound to be
I'm sure we all saw how BMW is using data. You may think during this preparing for the speech, someone saw me watching this video and the person said, oh, but this is too advanced for Ghana. And I said, no, it's not too advanced for Ghana. You see, if you look at the lessons in here, we have optimization of vehicle assembly, we have robotics, we have predictive maintenance, we have intelligence component testing, we have quality control, we have business intelligence, we have personnel training. We have a lot of lessons we can learn. What it is the use case. We have a lot of manufacturing going on in Ghana already. We have agriculture, we have mining, we have a lot of places. We have oil and gas. There's a lot of predictive work that can be done at during the oil and gas processes. Okay, how do we apply these technologies to what we are doing? That is the question, and that is what would let us transform and move these sectors which are contributing already to grow, quadruple, and be able to do far more. Hold on to that. Okay, the next area we would want to look at how we can impact our economic growth with data science is in the area of financial inclusion. The opportunity to dramatically increase financial inclusion is possible with data. We cannot transform the economy if there's no financial inclusion, and only a few people are financially empowered, whereas a larger population are not empowered or are not able to access finance. According to 2018 World Bank report, averagely 7.3 million Ghanaians are without access to financial services. Inclusive financial services can be designed based on the data on demography, lifestyle, gender, income level, and education levels for the unbanked and underbanked Ghanaians. When we are able to harness this data, derive insights from them, we'll be able to drive policy that would help grow financial inclusion. We'll be able to direct financial institutions as to what and how they can reach and target these people and get them into the financial inclusion net to grow the economy. Let's do one more video. On another use case, how some other countries are using data for financial inclusion.
Nepal is known for its unique geography, with high mountains and plains. Ensuring all Nepalese have the same economic opportunities and services is a daily challenge. Despite that, the government of Nepal has made great progress developing the financial sector to include everyone in Nepal by making the development of financial infrastructure a central policy priority. The devastating earthquake of 2015 crippled the financial infrastructure of Nepal for months. During that time, Nepal Rashtra Bank was entrusted to oversee the management of foreign aid. However, there was no system in place for tracking financial access points and their cash flow activities, which made the distribution of aid in rural areas challenging. Rather than seeing this as a setback, Nepal Rashtra Bank took a leadership role and, in collaboration with UNCDF, undertook the development of a data reporting and monitoring system. Nepal Financial Inclusion Portal is powered by a regulatory technology platform that combines reporting, mapping, and analytics tool. The foundation of the RegTech platform is geographic data. The objective of the portal is to help the central bank identify areas that needs financial access points, why they need it, and in what scale. The portal also enables commercial banks, development banks, finance companies, payment service providers, and microfinance institutions to report data in a systematic manner. Based on this analytics, the central bank can mandate the development of a financial service points across each of the 753 local bodies in Nepal. The central bank will use the Nepal Financial Inclusion Portal to initiate a three-step data collection process. Step 1. To track data submission within quoted deadline. Step 2. To ensure quality check of a submitted data. Step 3. To request resubmission of faulty data before the data gets aggregated. The financial institutions will use the dashboards to track their own growth, to plan future activities such as expanding their services in financially excluded areas. to oversee the activities of credits and deposits for various local bodies and province for future planning and business expansion. Other stakeholders will be able to use the data to geolocalize all financial points in Nepal, to analyze the market for potential projects and track the outreach of financial access. Apart from regular banking services, alternate banking activities can also be monitored, such as agent banking, branchless banking, non-bank payment services. After a year of operation, Nepal Rashtra Bank and financial institutions have been able to reduce the time for reporting and analyzing data from 10 working days to 2 working days. The platform supports the UN SDG 1 of alleviating poverty by addressing exclusion and inequalities of access, and SDG 17 of developing partnership for goals with the focus of unlocking the public and private finance for the poor at local level. With this portal, we aim to support the efforts to accelerate access to finance with the right blend of innovation and technology. We aim to leave no one behind in building an all-inclusive digital economy.
This is how some other country is using data to transform lives in the area of financial inclusion. And given that 7.3 million of us do not have access to finance, it's a very good place to start with our data science and data analytics. Unlike the BMW use case, you even realize that this is rather simple. It's just a matter of picking data at various localities, what they do, demographics, what kind of financial needs they would have, and matching them to financial players who are already in the system. And that is even not advanced data science. That's very, very basic and simple. Tracking, collating information. And that is something I believe we can also easily do here in Ghana. So the last and most important is, how do we preserve and empower the most important economic actor, the person who do we need most? Without human beings, you know, all the stuff we are talking would be a joke. We need human beings to be able to drive financial economic transformation. And how do we ensure that the human life is preserved? Human lives have the best opportunities. Human life are able to access everything we need to be able to impact, to be able to grow, to be able to thrive as a nation. Data-driven policies in the areas of healthcare, in the areas of livelihood empowerment cannot be achieved using data science. Human beings will remain the most valuable contributors in the economic growth. The health and well-being of the citizenry must not be forgotten in our quest to develop and grow the economy. How do we harness insights from available data? And mind you, unfortunately for us, we still have a lot of data which is in paper records. We have a lot of data which is not digitized. We have a lot of data which is not aggregated in any way. But how do we move from that step to the point that policy making can be driven by data we have on the ground? That's what we are looking at. Predicting healthcare needs, aiding diagnosis and disease prevention, improving access and availability of health personnel are some of the key use cases of data in this instance. And also, of course, monitoring and evaluating implemented policies. Are they making the impact we need? Do we have to go back to the drawing board and change them? These are all good use cases of our data in terms of preserving the Ghanaian to begin with. In conclusion, I'm fully convinced that at the end of this summit, we will collectively be turbocharged to leverage data for our economic transformation. This possibility would be aided by varied data sources we have. I'd also like to take this opportunity to request that we all enhance our data collection and management activities wherever we are or whatever opportunities we get, to educate others on what they can use data for and why they should learn to harness and manage data. Sadly, there are little or no APIs available to public data for easy usage and experimenting. From regulatory authorities, government agencies, ministries, There's a lot of rich historical records that cannot be easily exploited by data scientists in industry and in academia. It's my hope that we would consider a digital and data-driven economic transformation in addition to all the ongoing initiatives. A collection of stakeholders, including many who are gathered here, are needed to fully realize the vision of a digital and data-driven economic transformation. I leave you with this quote from Tim O'Reilly. It says, "Who has the data has the power." And we know that if we look at China, if we look at America, if we look at a lot of other places where there's a lot of economic growth, we know that they employ and use a lot of data. Interestingly, I found out that over 40% of the existing libraries are used in China. So when you look at the traffic that comes from or access to the existing libraries, it comes mainly, most of the time, from China. Are we surprised? No. You see, they may not be loud. We may only see them from a certain angle, but they are employing a lot of data science in transforming their economy. And we can all learn from that. Thank you.